All right, let's get it. Okay, happy Friday. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, so today I have a very special guest, someone I have known for, oh my goodness, it's been a while, man. It's 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Feels longer. Probably
Hopefully,
knowing me. So I just
feels
want to introduce everyone to my good friend Tom Kadar. He is the operating principal for Keller Williams Costa Mesa. He has put up with me for many years. He's been kind enough to jump on this call. And Tom, why don't you go ahead and take it away and tell the people who you are, what you do, and basically, what you specialize in. So take it away, my man.
thank you, Mr. Baker. Appreciate you guys having me on, and it's an honor to kind of speak in front of you guys right now. I'll give a brief synopsis of kind of what I'm doing right now, what I kind of look to be doing in the future, and if anybody has questions or resonate with something I'm saying, I'm happy to kind of dive into that further. So just a quick kind of where I am now. I am, as Chris said, the OP, the broker and the commercial director of KW Legacy Costa Mesa, which is over there in Costa Mesa. Other than that, I have a small commercial division where I have about 4 or 5 people on my team that does general commercial kind of real estate. I also do have a wholesaling kind of arm to that operation with some people in the Philippines for calling and assistance and things like that. Uh, Other than that, I have about 20, 25 units, which I've collected myself over the last 4 years of multifamily and single family kind of rentals. Beyond that, I've got 3 property management companies. 2 handle long-term management, one in Riverside, one in Yucca Valley, that manage about 500 doors. And then I've got a short-term rental management company in Big Bear Lake that manages about 40, 45 short-term rental Airbnb type of properties. But what I'm excited about, what I've been doing lately, which I think would resonate most with the agents here, is kind of started my path in kind of raising money among the investors that I work with. And that can take a number of different forms and different kind of ways to do. But the 2 main funds that I've been working on, one is basically partnering one-on-one with investors by having one investor in one project. The ones that we're doing right now are Airbnb ground up development projects. We have about 5 or 6 going right now. One in Joshua Tree, a couple in Sequoia National Park, a couple in Blue Ridge, Georgia. These are very small kind of ground up developments, which are 2 bed, 3 bed, 1,200 square feet, and it should generate about $10,000 to $12,000 a month in revenue for our investors and us. So that's one avenue that I kind of do for investors. Is kind of partnering with them, raising money, promising a return, a certain amount of money to them, and obviously for our general partner group, we also share the revenue in that in some percentage split. So that's another fund that we're starting is one that's focusing on Section 8 rentals across the Midwest. We've raised $2 million for that one, and we're going to be buying with $2 million. We can buy approximately 100, 120 Section 8 rentals right now we're starting in St. Louis, Missouri, but we're going to be expanding to some other markets as well. So, I mean, I've had a couple agents reach out to me even this past week. They're talking to me about, Tom, what do I do for more business? How do I generate more business? Where do I find more leads? How do I grow in this type of market? That's the questions I'm getting right now from the agents in my office, from other offices. And, I don't have a good answer. I mean, besides obviously what the Red Book teaches us, that's very obvious: generate more leads by calling and door knocking and doing the normal things. But my approach over the last number of years, I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad that basically tapped into looking in how to generate passive forms of income. And that's why I focused on businesses alongside real estate, which generate income. So whether that be the management companies, whether that be raising money, there's all these avenues that real estate agents have open to them, which are basically alongside real estate, which they already have access to by looking at real estate deals constantly every day. that's what I tapped into over the last 3 4 years, and it's been pretty good for me. So I'm happy to talk about anything there. Or,
Yeah,
that
I mean, when I first met you, man, I mean, like you said at the beginning, you were all about commercial, you know. So what sparked your
yeah.
interest in doing commercial over residential?
Well, that's yeah, that's a long story. I'll keep short, but yeah, very early on, I did I was doing showing houses and for 2 3 years I was showing houses to my network and going through the process of showing a newlywed couple 30 40 houses and the wife arguing about the paint color in the bat and the in the kitchen and things like that and it didn't really resonate with me and that's when I kind of transferred over to connecting more with investors who are looking at the numbers, don't care about the paint color in the kitchen of the property or uh, any type of colors on the property. So that's what resonated with me more: the numbers, the returns, the profits from that kind of avenue.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I love what you said, man. I mean, you are the ideal person when it comes to like the opportunity within Keller Williams about and just real estate in general, when it comes to so many different avenues of opportunities for being investor, entrepreneurship, and just really, capitalizing on just, the different types of investments out there. I mean, the fact that you work with property management, wholesales, how did you really get into all that? And what have been some of the challenges that, you had to overcome in order to be successful in all those fields?
yeah. I mean, you know, when I first, so I guess it all kind of stemmed from working 8 years, 10 years in commercial and basically making money that I saw. I was basically making a lot of money for my investors. So they were buying multi-million-dollar deals, and then I was reselling it for them and they were making millions of dollars. And I was basically on the sidelines, and I was like, I'm the one's finding the deal. I'm the one who's helping them through the whole process. The only thing I'm missing is the capital out of this entire situation. So when I saw that, and obviously I made a few bigger checks, and I had an opportunity to say I can buy a Lamborghini or I can invest it in myself and kind of growing my business. So that's when I created the wholesale arm, and I did a lot of education for myself. I pay a lot of mentors and coaches to kind of learn how wholesaling works, and I tapped into that and created that whole division. And from there, I that's where I found all the properties that I bought for myself, the 2025 units. So mostly smaller multifamily, but we also own a small lodge in Big Bear Lake of 5 keys as well, which we're currently renovating and working on. So
Love that. That's
yeah,
awesome. Now, I love that you said, you could have bought a Lamborghini, but you decided to invest in yourself. That's the one thing that I feel separates you and, successful people from those who just want the flashy, you know, shiny objects, right? And
yeah.
that's amazing.
But there's a reason for that because I knew this day was coming. I just read an article this morning about how NAR just settled, or what was it, 418 million or something and the buyer's agent commissions are slowly going away. So the landscape of our industry is changing. It's I don't know what it's going to look like in 2 3 years, but I know that real estate agents need to be cautious on how they continuously form their business and how they restructure things in this changing landscape. So based on that, I mean, I have, that's why I'm focusing on things like, property management and raising money. The services that I'm offering to my clients are way above and beyond a buyer's agent commission. So because I'm able to do that, I'm not worried about, the buyer's agent commission going away. That's that I would obviously recommend that to anyone on this call as well.
Of course, of course. Now, in your career, to help some of these people, whether it's residential, commercial, property management, wholesaling, what are the things that you've done primarily to overcome some of the biggest challenges aside from, like obviously we just talked about the lawsuit, but just things in general, when it comes to, getting those clients or satisfying the client's needs or even satisfying your own wants and needs for your own investment properties. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to educating yourself,
Yeah.
bettering yourself to be able to create that value. So I mean, for me, obviously, it was commercial, it was wholesaling. From there, in each of these scenarios, I'm partnering with somebody that knows this particular field better than me. I gave up obviously equity or value or dollars up front in order to learn these particular skills. But after I did, I'm able to go on my own and kind of do them on my own and kind of transform them. But I'm continuously educating myself. I'm continuously taking classes. I'm continuously trying to learn what the newest and best kind of practices are. So that's all. I mean, there's nothing more important than education, I think.
Where are you getting your education? Are you doing it through like you're just going into Barnes and Noble and picking out random books? Or...
It's a combination of a lot of things, but I listen to about probably 2 hours of podcasts a day. Of course, it's on 2x speed, so it's about 1 hour. It's about 1 hour of podcasts, and they're all real estate related. You know, whether it's bigger pockets or specific, you know, wholesaling or raising money type of podcasts. So I'm always learning, educating myself on, you know, what types of tools these people are using. And then if I resonate with somebody that's talking there, obviously they have their information. I can connect with them. I can reach out to them. And probably they offer a class, you know, for a few $1,000s or $10,000 or something like that. And I can learn further. So yeah, that's been my best. Obviously I have lots of books and things like that, but podcast has always been easier because I'm always kind of on the go.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to everything that you've mentioned as well, I mean, if you had to pick a favorite avenue, whether it's wholesaling, property management, commercial, what would you say is your favorite right now?
Yeah, I mean that's the last one I mentioned. It's the raising money. There's
Raising
nothing.
money.
Yeah, that's the highest value of my time is finding value add projects. You know, whether let's say it's this Big Bear Lake deal
Yeah.
that I bought basically below discount price. I raised about $500,000 for it. Uh, in a syndication or raising money, I can break down a little bit. So I mean, as the general partner, there's a general partner and a limited partner in every one of these deals. As a general partner, I don't even have to put money into the deal, and I get an equity position of that particular real estate holding. So, for example, in this one, I got I think 20 or 30% of the equity simply for finding the deal, managing the deal, controlling the deal, and then handling the process of adding value. So just for being the GP, I get a acquisition fee, which is let's say 3% of the purchase price. That's on top of the commission that I get as a buyer's agent that I particularly got for that deal. I get an asset management fee, which is, you know, could be 2 or 3% of the continuous revenue of the property. I get a disposition fee, so 2 or 3% of when I sell the property. That's outside of the commission that I would get on the listing side. And obviously the 20 or 30% of the equity that I create, the additional equity that I create in the property. So for I mean, that's a smaller deal. It's $1 million deal, but I mean, for the guys who are doing this on a very high level, you know, 10, 15, $20 million projects, I mean, this is the best use of anyone's time.
Absolutely.
Raising money again is I can't emphasize how important this would be to any real estate agent. Every real estate agent who has been in the business for at least 3 to 5 years has a network of investors. That they have people that they continuously talk to that are looking for deals. This network, if they foster this and talk to them and ask them what are you guys looking for? What kind of projects are you what's your appetite right now? Is it, you know, fix and flips? Is it, you know, smaller multifamily? What's your comfort level? If I brought a project to you where I would find the deal, manage the deal, and then handle the exit of the deal, how much money could you give me? Could you give me $50,000, $200,000, $500,000? And then once you talk to all your investors, you find out how much money you have. Is that 500,000, 2 million? Then you know what you're playing with. You can go out to the market and buy projects with financing or all cash and kind of take one of these deals full circle. Not only your investors who are actively in this space, but think of all the people, the doctors, the dentists, the business people that want to be in real estate, have money sitting in a checking account that's getting, you know, even 3, 4, 5% right now. And and the money's just sitting there losing value to inflation, and they want to be in real estate. If you can bring one of these deals to them, say, I can give you an 8 or 10% return on your money, you have an equity position in real estate and possibly double your money in 3 to 5 years. Is that something that could be valuable to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, hopefully.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's actually like phenomenal. When it comes down to these investors and everything that you do, I mean, do you teach classes on this, or is this something that you just do for, for your own life? Because I'm
um,
sure a lot of people are like, is he going to teach a class?
I mean, it's something lately we've been offering to the agents. I mean, again, newer agents are focusing on different things. Agents, at least, like I said, 3 or 5 years in the business, I think this would be very valuable to. For agents joining our office, it's something I've been trying to add value. But of course, anyone on this call, I'm happy to just connect with you and kind of give you a game plan or just talk over some bullet points if that's of value to anyone.
Let me ask you this. I mean, you said you do things in other states as well. So how do you find the clients or the investors or even the properties in multiple states outside of California? For those who don't know how to search outside of the state line.
Well, all my investors are here in California. I mean, and everybody here in California. I mean, everyone here is high net. They're usually in Orange County and these types of areas. They're high net worth. Like I said, they've got money sitting in a bank account. They have a property that's worth a good amount of money. They make a good income. They have a lot of money in a 401k or IRA or something like that that's sitting there. And then they have a lot of money just sitting in a checking account. And, they're very cautious and they're very careful on where they want to put it. But you guys have all relationships with these people. They trust you. You've sold their houses multiple times or bought them investment properties. You have relationships with them. If you're able to come to them with a clear, concise message of this is what we're doing, this is the entire business plan, this is the returns you can expect. Some people resonate with my Airbnb projects because it's they look pretty, they're nicely designed, and they make a good amount of money, and there's appreciation there. And some people resonate with Section 8 just because of the cash on cash return. I mean, those are, they're upwards of 20 to 30% cash on cash returns. We're buying these houses approximately $85,000 and the rents are $1,500 a month. So it's everybody just kind of resonates with different things. But keep in mind, I mean, all agents they have relationships with their clients directly. When I've changed brokerages 3 or 4 times in my entire life, the clients that I've had for over 13, 15 years, they knew me as a person. They knew me as as their broker. They didn't know KW or Sotheby's so long ago or wherever else I was. So they trust me, and if I brought them something, it's not like they would look at my business card and like, oh, you're at Compass and okay, now I trust you. It's because of the name and the relationship that I've built with them over the many years. So what my point is that if you can have that relationship with somebody and you can bring something to them, I think it's something that would be very relevant to them. It's something you could kind of push as an investment to the long term.
A lot of the people in your sphere and just in that group that refer business to you all the time, whether it's investors or other investors or even just commercial deals.
Yeah, I've been in the business for, like I said, about 15 years now. So I mean, it's I have a good network of people that I work with, but yeah, I mean, my main point now is, yeah, I get excited about $2 or $3 million listing and making some money, but sure, but I mean, obviously that's going to be even tougher down the line. Obviously, inventory is very tight right now. The interest rates are 7.5%. It's a very different market. So I mean, obviously my business has slowed down over the last year quite a bit too. But these projects that I'm mentioning, they're just picking up because we're finding opportunities wherever they are. And the people who are sitting on the sidelines because they're worried about the real estate market, they have more and more money piling up cash and they don't know what to do with it. So I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for somebody to step in, give them some sort of business plan for their money, and give them a return,
I love
right?
that. Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you host like events, or do you go to networking events? Do you obviously, do you host things for your investors? What do you do in that sense?
We don't have too much for the investors. I do have a real estate investor meetup at our office.
Okay.
We have I think a meetup page with KW Legacy. Obviously, anyone's welcome to come to that. I leave it kind of open, so I mean, all the topics that I just shared, we can dive into anything that somebody's particularly interested in. But other than that, yeah, we have a commercial class and a wholesaling class. Everybody's interested in different things. We're also trying to build out in our office kind of an education platform of online classes and things like that. So I'll share that with you once we have
Yeah,
that up and running.
it'd be excellent. I'm sure a lot of people on here would love to, dive into those. And I see, we have a few minutes. I want to definitely open it up to some questions. I see,
Sure.
let's see, Rosie, she says, what do you do to get your commercial investor contacts? Obviously, I mean, I think you mentioned that over the years of building those relationships, but if you're going to get a new one, for instance, right? How would you answer that? And she also said advantages and disadvantages of owning a commercial versus residential investment. That's a good question.
Okay, so the first one, how do I find my clients? I mean, obviously in the initially it was a lot of cold calling. I mean, for commercial, I would very high level. I mean, obviously under a minute, how to build a commercial business, it will be tough to explain, but really focusing on a certain asset class. I focused on multifamily personally, but smaller multifamily, so 2 to maybe 10 units, somewhere in that range. I prefer Orange County and Riverside County. So I continuously market to these people through I have cold callers that reach out to them in the Philippines, some marketing messages, mass text, things like that, just to continuously kind of connect with them. For someone new, I mean, yeah, it's really about really focusing on a certain market, understanding it, and then building that clientele slowly by just adding value consistently. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the quickest and easiest way I can say that.
Right.
And then difference between commercial and residential. I guess we can write a book on that too. But the biggest and most important one I would say is that residential, when you're adding value, let's say in a flip, and you fix it up, the value of that property is never going to exceed the comps in that area. It's always going to be directly related to whatever the highest comp is. That's what the appraiser is going to look at, and that's what they're going to value your property at. In commercial, they're very much looking at the income of the building. If you're able to take that income of that building from $100,000 to $200,000, for example, you've doubled the value of that building. I mean, you're looking at the net income of the building, and there's, I can talk about cap rates and GRMs and all that kind of stuff. But the main point there is if you've added value by creating more income for that building, you've created more value for that building.
That's really, really phenomenal information. I love that. And like you said, you could write a whole book on that, but I mean, just that little
Yeah.
has so much information in it. I love that. I see Rosie has another one here. How do you find real estate investment opportunities in other states? Like I know you mentioned you had the Section 8 out of state. Like, how did you find that? Did it come to you? Did you have to search for it? Where do you find these opportunities?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, I'm always looking at different avenues across all investment vehicles. So, I mean, in this current market with the higher interest rates, I mean, for the last 3 or 4 years, that like I mentioned, I've been investing in multifamily, so smaller apartment buildings. But in this interest climate, uh, putting down 20% like I was before wasn't working. So I mean, in this market, especially in Southern California, I have to put down 50 to 70% down payment in order for something to cash flow. So I had to I had to pivot and basically find other avenues on where I can basically invest, and that led me to Airbnb, in building unique properties with uh, in very unique areas, and then managing them correctly. Those gave me the cash on cash returns, about 8 to 10%, that we were looking for. And then I also see that in Section 8. If you're able to buy properties which are still priced at $65,000 to $85,000 and get $1,500 a month in cash flow, then that also makes sense in the 7 to 8% interest rate climate. So that's why. But I'm constantly researching and pivoting. I mean, you have to. So that's
I love that.
yeah.
I love that, man. That's phenomenal. And so for instance, like in Big Bear, how often do you visit any of these investment properties, or do you just kind of leverage that?
If I were to visit all the properties, I'd probably be very busy all day long.
I figured.
But yeah, like the short-term rental management company that we have that has a staff of about 4 or 5 people. That's in Big Bear Lake, and that one also manages the lodge there. So yeah, I have that's a very important point through all these different companies, finding people that you can kind of connect with that have skills that are better than you in that particular field. I have in all these companies I mentioned, I have very good partners and people that are running the particular operations that they need to, and I have certain roles and things like that that I'm good at that I add value to the
That's
company.
that's awesome. I mean, and property management. I mean, you said you own a couple of property management companies, or
Yeah, so we have the one in Riverside and then one in Yucca Valley. So those are long-term management companies. So 1 year lease or longer.
oh, okay.
Type. Yeah.
Awesome. So if anyone on this call needs some property management, I mean, go to Tom. He's got the connections and the companies.
Yeah. I'm happy to talk about that deeper. And yeah, and I see agents kind of managing properties on their own. So I'm happy to, what if they need help in something particular, then I can add value there. Or if they have a referral, I'm happy to give them kind of a commission on something that they would refer to me to, whatever they like. Yeah.
And if you can give now, I'll try and open it up for a few minutes for a few questions. But one last thing, if you could add one piece of value for everyone on this call, that whether they want to go into build their real estate portfolio on the investment side or commercial side, what's the one thing in your business that has made you so successful? If you had to pick one thing that that just gave you whether it's the drive, the hunger, the ambition, the entrepreneur, everything that made you the entrepreneur that you are. If you were to give one piece of advice from the one thing that made you get into all of this, what would that be?
Um, I mean, usually people point back to a why or something like that.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I mean, I have a few different whys. Like family and but most importantly, it's pushing yourself, and I think accomplishing more and consistently trying to better yourself. I think that's been important for me. Um, but I mean, I've been in a position, years ago where I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I know that very much that feeling when real estate agents kind of, this business is very tough. It's not about driving, Bentleys and looking at $5 million houses and making big commission checks and then going to happy hour, how most people think. It's a tough business. It's a grind, and I saw that early on. So it was important to me to not consistently do that. I didn't want to be the agent that I see that's 80 years old and showing houses and things like that. That scared me. So that's kind of the path that I got led down when I saw that is I need passive income. I need to create different avenues of kind of businesses for myself. Um, I need to create something for myself that's I guess that's gonna last. So that's kind of where I got, I guess, today.
That's the perfect answer. That's brilliant because you're right. I mean, we all fall into that trap, and even I've had my thoughts on, wow, I mean, how long am I going to do this before I build enough passive income? And I'm sure a lot of people on this call also had that same thought. What are they going to do to be able to, have something that they can retire from, so they're not working till the very last minute of their life? I think that was well said. That's awesome. And I see on the chat here, Bob has a need for Airbnb in Indio. Okay, well that's something to connect with. So Bob, is your need? So do you need an Airbnb? Is that what you're asking? You can go ahead and type that
Now,
in. Go ahead.
as property management, we have
Oh,
a we have a Airbnb rental in India, and we're not too happy with the management company.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put my info in the chat right now. If anybody wants to connect later, I'm happy to do that on anything at all that I talked about.
Here's another one. So Rosie says, if we have investors who may be interested in any of your projects, will you work with us? I'm sure that's going to be a solid yes.
Yeah, definitely. But on top of that as
Yeah.
well, I have agents that have connected me with investors, and we always compensate them, a percentage of the project or equity or something like that. So I'm always happy to do that as well.
Yeah, and I can vouch for Tom. He's a man of integrity, and he's always looking out to make sure everyone's got that fair share. So, absolutely. So, definitely reach out to Tom, email him, if you guys have any questions. But yeah, I figured, Tom, if you got a few minutes, we could we could be the last ones on and wait for anyone that may have any other questions that pop up. But
Sure.
if anything, man, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to jump on this call and give some phenomenal value and information to these people that really want to learn how to invest and just be a better version of themselves. So
Yeah, I hope it was informative, and yeah, I mean, that's my main goal. And whenever I have these conversations on podcasts and things like that, is really educate. I mean, I think there's a very much a lack of information for real estate agents to basically, uh, get to the next level, and in any of these avenues that I'm talking about, investing or management or development or anything like that. And we're the best candidates to basically be in this category. I mean, we're the ones seeing all the deals. We know how everything works. We know how the transactions are. We know what's a deal. Why not take that information and really create value for ourselves and for investors? I mean, it's so much more powerful than, fighting for a commission check or on any particular transaction. Those are my feelings.
no, I love that. It's
Yeah.
it's phenomenal to think because like typically when I do this, it's about residential and building the business and everything. But to get the investment aspect of really building generational wealth so that you don't have to work till you're 80 and finding all these opportunities to be able to help people like with the Section 8 projects and find ways to really capitalize on the industry. I think has been a phenomenal topic today, man. I mean, this has been a good one. Probably one of my
Good.
favorites. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy to stay on if anybody has any additional
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a lot of thank yous and great sessions. I mean, this is phenomenal. I mean, you're being flooded with love.
Good. Thank you.
So yeah, that's awesome. Well, everyone, on the call, thank you so much for taking the time out of your guys' busy day to jump on with me and Tom today. We really appreciate you. I mean, without you guys, I mean, this wouldn't be possible. So everyone, thank you so very much. Make it an awesome day. Go out there, kick butt, and hey, if you got something from the session, go out there and study this week into how you can be just like Tom going into the next week. So, and I see, as we're signing off too, while everyone, as people are signing off, I see there's a couple more questions. So, do you have your own website or are you using the KW site?
I mean, for all these different companies, I have different websites, but I mean, yeah, just connect with me and shoot me an email or shoot me a text or give me a call later, and I'm happy to share, whatever particular website or whatever particular company you're interested in.
Love it. Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you. We appreciate your time. Tom, man, I got to take you to lunch for this one.
Good.
You're
Yeah.
amazing.
As long as I added some value and some people hopefully took some nuggets away that they're going to use, then I'm happy with it. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Trust me, your phone's gonna be blown up now.
Okay. Good.
That's excellent.
You
Thank
should have
you.
just put the email in there. No. Awesome. Well, everyone, happy Friday. Make it a killer weekend. Go out there, make a difference, make some money, be the best version of you. And guys, thank you. Tom, you've been awesome, my friend. Thank you. I
Okay.
can't thank you enough, honestly.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Peace.